how to give an effective design presentation to your clients, right? Because this is very important part of your interior designing journey, because you must know that how to give the best presentation to your client, because that is going to decide, that how you will be appointed as a consultant or as an expert by the client, right? So the presentation is very important. Of course it is very important in all the field, but as far as interior designing is concerned, so you need to have a right strategy. You need to have the right skill, that how to proceed with the design presentation for your client, right? So today we will be learning some important aspect of presentation, and what we should include and what we should not include, and what is the right way of giving the presentation. And I'll be sharing some of my inputs, and because this complete presentation, this complete session is based on my experience, because this is the same thing what I'm doing for my interior designing business. And the same, if you feel that this are the strategy can be worked out in a better way, and it can be adopted for your presentation, so you can go ahead, you can take some insights from with this session, and you can start implementing all those strategy. You can start implementing all those important points that you will be learning in this session, right? So this is going to give you the overall view that how you should proceed with the presentation, and what are the points that you should be aware of it, right? And it is totally based on my experience, so it is not a theoretical class, it is not a theoretical session, right? It is completely based on my experience, what I have learned from the client, because I have done somewhere around 60 to 70 presentation for my clients. So it is going to give you the complete insights that what and how it should be done in a proper manner, right? So as you know that I just want you to be with me till we complete this session, so you will get more ideas about this. Okay guys, so let's go ahead. So this is the first part, and this is the first part which you should always keep in mind whenever you're going for a presentation. When I go for a presentation, I always keep in mind, because I don't want, because what happened whenever I go for a meeting, you know sometime I was told to wait for half an hour, or sometimes I waited for 1 hour to meet a client. So this is based on my experience. So to avoid this problem, always inform and confirm before leaving for the meeting with your clients that they are available. Because when you're going for a presentation, it means that you should not waste your time and you should not waste your client's time. And you should also be very clear that the client should also not waste your time, right? So it is very important for you, just inform and get the confirmation before leaving for the meeting that I am coming at so and so at time, and please be available, right? Because this will avoid being kept on waiting for the meeting by informing them in advance. So it is very important for you to inform them in advance. I was not doing this thing, but the moment when I had a meeting with so many clients, so I used to wait for them. So now whenever I'm leaving for a meeting, or whenever I'm leaving for a presentation, for the design presentation, before leaving from my home or office, right, I normally confirm with them that I'm coming for a presentation, so please be available on time, right? So this is the first thing which I learned with so many clients. So I don't want you to be just go on waiting for the people who will if you're just, because what we do, there is a presentation timing is half an hour, but for traveling we invest so much of time in that, we spend so much of time. So we don't want to spend our time just waiting for the client to come and to appear at for the presentation. So better just inform them and confirm them before leaving for the meeting. So this is the first point you should always keep in mind, right? The second, this is what I learned, like this is very important, because whenever you are going for a design presentation, this is really going to make the client should understand that you are very punctual in everything, in all aspects, right? So whenever I go for a meeting, whenever I go for a design presentation, I have experienced this thing, that I'm always, if the meeting is already if it is planned at 12 p.m. So, you know, before 15 minutes before you have to be there, right? You can see be punctual and reach at client's place 15 minutes prior to the meeting, because this shows the punctuality, right? Because you have to be punctual, because if you're late and if the client is made to wait for you, then that is not going to create a better, you know, impression. So always be there before time or on the time, but I would recommend you to just be on time, before time, so that it will be very easy for the client to see that you're very punctual and you value the time, not only yours but also the time. So whenever you are informing, whenever you're reaching to the site or whenever you're reaching to client's place, so please be there before 15 minutes before the meeting. So it is going to create a different impact in client's mind. This is what I learned, because whenever I go for a design presentation, I reach there 15 minutes before the meeting, right? So this is very important points. Later on we are going to learn so many things, so just stay with me, right? Okay, I hope guys you can resonate with this, because you people you know, you might be late sometime, and that's the first impression creates the, you know, the bad impression in client's mind, because you're not valuing the time, and then everything start, you know, going bad, and all is the client's minds, you know, the everything happens start because you feel that I am not on time, and because of that it is going to impact the complete presentation of your design presentation. Is going to be completely impacted because of that. So always be on time, be there 15 minutes before, so that you can give, just get prepared, just go through the presentation, be there in 15 minutes before the meeting, and then it, because that will be very easy for you to go and give the best presentation to your client, right? Okay, now next, which is very important, I have felt, because when I used to go for a meeting, so sometimes if I am in a hurry, because so sometimes I miss, sometimes I forget to, sometimes I forget to get my measuring tape, or sometimes sketchbooks, laptop or compass or hard copy, estimate copies, questionnaire sheets. So whenever you're leaving for a meeting, whenever you're leaving for a design presentation, so always keep your things ready in your bags, and please cross check whether you have got everything ready with you or not. Because what happened, you will fail, because when the client is going to ask you, do you have the measuring tape, because this happened with me, that's why I'm just giving you the real example, because this happened with me, and I don't want you should make such a mistakes while going for a design presentation. So during the presentation I was not having a measuring tape with me. So when client asks, do you have the measure tape, can you just measure it? Oh, so I started searching my bags, and the measuring tape was not. So that was the bad impression which was created in client's mind. So you're an expert, you're a designer, and you don't have the measuring tape, which is very important part. So from that day onwards, before leaving for the presentation, design presentation, I just checked all my stuffs in my bags 2 or 3 times. Okay, I've got everything ready with me. Measuring tape, sketchbook, pen and pencil, laptop, iPad, compass, hard copy, layout, estimate copy, questionnaire sheet, everything is ready with me. And now I'm ready for the design presentation. So this is very important, guys. You always have to keep in mind, just cross check all the stuffs which are ready with you or not, because this is going to be very useful for you if you keep everything ready, so that whenever client is asking you something, so you should not say I don't have. Well, again, that is going to create a big problem, right? So I hope you can understand this. So whenever you're going for a presentation, for a design presentation, always cross check with you that you have all the stuff ready with you, right? Okay, so let's move ahead. Okay, so whenever you're going to give a presentation for the furniture layout to your client, so you need to have a proper format of your complete design, right? So you can see a blank page here, right? This is a blank page, right, which has got a border, and at the bottom level you will have your company name, and then you will have the layout. Like if it's a furniture layout, you will have a, you will mention here it's a furniture layout, residence, client's name. And so this is the format which I use whenever I go for a design presentation. This is a format which I use, and I always mention here where is the north. You have to also mention the north side, south, all the 4 directions you have to mention here, right? So this is the basically this is the format which I use for my design presentation, and you can also use, but if you can get better than this, if you can make better than this, so you're good to go, no problem. But this is the format which I use for my design presentation, for my client's presentation, right? So once you're ready with the blank this format, and you have to follow the same format, you have to use the same format for all the design presentation, right? So this is the first part. So you have to present your furniture layout to your client, right? So at that time you need to have a proper format. So these are the proper format which we use for presentation.